Hey, it's piping hot. It's piping hot, Brew.
Fire cannot burn a dragon, so give it to me.
Oh, it's hot. Oh, you know what? I actually had
See,
some
you don't
notes.
get that because you don't watch Game of Thrones or you haven't watched Game of Thrones. I'm in the midst of a rewatch again right now, and I'm at like the beginning middle of season 6. So,
I've never seen a single episode.
do you remember when I got married and I literally had the person who married us do the whole like Game of Thrones thing, and you were like afterward, because you still haven't seen Game of Thrones to this day, afterward you were like, damn, that shit was really intense what that lady was saying.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah, it's the Game of Thrones like wedding ceremony. That's what I got married to, was like the mother, the father, the maid, the maiden, like whatever the fuck. Like,
I would have never guessed.
you were like, damn, that shit was deep. Where did you come up with that? And I was like, dude, it's from Game of Thrones.
I kind of look back to your wedding and I kind of wish that I hadn't gone as like costumey. Like I kind of wish I had gone like classy, like a vampiress or something. Listeners, I was a zombie cheerleader. I was a zombie cheerleader.
Well, okay,
I was
so
excited.
actually tie in to the story we were just telling about my botched bachelorette party, you were supposed to come as the bride of Chucky with your Chucky.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, but my Chucky got uninvited.
But your Chucky got uninvited. I literally was like, no, after that display.
Yeah.
And the rage texts that he was sending me after I left your house. Like,
I forgot about that. I blocked that out.
And I was sitting in the car like rage texting back, and Marcus was like, stop. He was like,
No.
do not send whatever you're gonna send, because you're only gonna make it worse for Taylor. No. She's the one that has to deal with him.
Yeah.
She's the one that's gonna whatever. And that's the only reason I fucking hit delete and I just did not respond to him. I have these text messages on my iPad still, by the way.
You know what? You should keep them.
Yeah, I'll read them on the podcast. Whatever.
Maybe, listeners, do we want to spill more tea on this person? Because we have a lot. I'll never name names. I'm not that type. But John Day might.
See, that's the friend that I am for everybody. It's like, I'm not going to do it, but John Day will.
Right?
Yeah, I definitely will. But, yeah, no, he was not welcome anymore.
No.
I was like, fuck him. Like, you're still coming. So originally, your costume was supposed to be,
that's right,
Bride of Chucky.
I forgot that.
And you had to on the last minute, like day of, you had to go and figure out another costume.
Yeah, I forgot about that piece.
By the way, that's why we're talking about costumes.
What did you say?
I said that I got married on Halloween, which is why we're talking about costumes, because I just threw a costume party.
So I actually have some notes kind of following up from the last episode 2. I love that it's episode 3, and this is my second apology that I'm starting off with. I wanted to apologize for the extreme delay. I'm working really hard to get these up for Fridays, but technical difficulties have been holding me back more often than not. So Saturday, Sunday, sometimes Monday, that just might happen from time to time, like specifically next weekend, with it being my kid's first Thanksgiving. That'll probably be a Saturday upload. But Friday's still the goal. But this thing, like my MacBook is like older than me, bitch. Like it takes a minute to do anything. Like sometimes it just quits. So I wanted to apologize for that.
Don't apologize.
Before I did anything
People have hit subscribe, so like whenever they post, it's fine.
Yeah. I just don't want to like ruin someone's day if they're like, oh my god, the new Bad Brew episode's coming. You know. And then I also realized after, when I edit, I kind of have to re-listen and, lay backing tracks and kind of clean things up a little bit. I also realized that I was fully trying to make the bubblegum fetish disappearance a thing. And I didn't, I was really, really pushing that this entire community disappeared. And I'm sure that they haven't. I'm sure that they still very much exist. But I'm telling you guys, I'm a detective, and if it's on the internet, I'll find it, and I couldn't find it. So maybe I'm just doubling down. Maybe I'm just saying it again. Maybe I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not apologizing for that. I'm doubling down. If you're in the bubblegum fetish community, say something. Signed off.
Say something to us. Comment.
Below. Just comment bubblegum, and we'll see you. We see you. Morning Brew.
Give me that morning brew.
So we have a bit of a mix for today's morning brew. Some are pretty terrible, and tragic, and some are not.
My
but
favorite.
Also,
love it when it's tragic with a capital T. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My name is Gerard Way.
Mm-hmm. I also didn't screen these like I usually do because I spent a lot more time.
Oh, you're cold reading these?
I'm cold reading these articles.
I like it when you cold read some shit. So let's get into it.
I kind of do too, because the last time we did this, we had the Elmo situation, and that was incredible. I mean, it wasn't, but it was.
I mean, it was, but whatever.
So I'm going to start with the first one. I've read all the headlines, I just haven't read the articles. Okay, first one. My skin turned black from horrific reaction to common antidepressant. This is nearly one that I just want to put out there because whatever it is, if it's a common antidepressant, I feel like 85% of us are on it. So let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. A Louisiana man's attempt to cure his anxiety with a common antidepressant backfired horribly due to a baffling side effect that turned his skin completely black. The fact is, this is what he said. The fact is, the doctors don't know why I'm changing colors. The epidermal calamity... Oh, okay. That's an interesting way to put that. Okay. The epidermal calamity began in January of 2021 after the pest control field inspector, that's the guy, started taking an antidepressant that his doctor prescribed to treat his depression and anxiety. This guy was given, here we go with my pronunciation, fluoxetine, a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor that's commonly known by its brand name Prozac. Just say Prozac. Medicine is commonly used to treat depression, anxiety, and other mood disorders. And unfortunately, not only did the mood booster fail to remedy his mental health issues, but within several months, the father of two's complexion mysteriously began to darken. By March of 2021, he started turning a grayish blue color, described the exterminator's wife. In other words, the alleged mood booster had literally turned him blue. He ceased taking the medication after only a few weeks as it wasn't helping with his depression, but his pigment affliction continued to snowball over the next few months until his skin became a dark blackish color. Accompanying videos showed his arms and face, which appear dark bronze, as if he had smeared on blackface or had gotten trapped in a tanning bed.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is Prozac, everybody. There's side effects to literally everything. There's always going to be side effects. I'm an idiot. Side effects. But I've never heard of, your pigment changing.
Yeah, that's like some Michael Jackson shit.
Yeah, well, Michael Jackson had, why can't I remember what it is? I should just say nothing if I can't remember it. There was something that Michael Jackson had that made his skin lighter, though. There was, it was speculated that was because of, plastic surgery, but it, wasn't.
Mm.
But this individual, interestingly, the ailment only affects his face and arms, with the color discrepancy between those parts and his legs looking like night and day. His wife said it's everywhere that the sunlight sees. He wears pants every day for work so his legs aren't affected. Oh, so it must be a reaction with the UV of the sun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Wow, that's
Wow,
crazy.
stay inside. Again, going outside. Just stay inside. No exercise, no
Don't
sunshine.
go outside. Don't exercise. Stay safe.
The complications weren't merely cosmetic. He also suffered from extremely red, irritated eyes and skin sensitivity so severe that he feels like he has a perennial sunburn. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. A really bad sunburn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was initially in denial over his accidental transformation. Well, okay, this article was writing good, and then they threw in transformation. Come on. In denial over his accidental... I have to read it again. I'm not saying it again. But after speaking to several colleagues, he finally accepted that he was turning black. Unfortunately, his malady has left... I don't think I pronounced that correctly either. Unfortunately...
No, you did.
Okay. Unfortunately, his malady has left the medical world scratching its head. Despite visiting multiple skin specialists near his home, none could diagnose his dermal discoloration. This person really picked up I was going to say thermostat. What is it? Thesaurus. And just had, like, skin and, like, color change just on lock both ways. He said, first they thought it was photosensitivity, so I'm having a reaction to light, but I've been covering up and I'm still getting darker. He has since been referred to a team of 8 specialists to try and get to the bottom of this. Ahead of his visit on November 21st, the pest specialist, that's his job, sorry, the guy is slated to receive a CT scan and blood work. Unfortunately, due to a lack of insurance, the couple's medical and other doctors' visit-related expenses now total $5,000, prompting them to start a GoFundMe page. Okay, well, that's, well, I feel for you, and while absolutely, like, the GoFundMe thing, like, I really hope you get, that's a 5K debt. I'm a cool 50K debt for bringing life into this world. So my pity's a little bit, I don't really have a lot, I don't have much for you on that with your 5K medical debt. 50K for bringing Angel, a perfect fucking little angel into this world. You're welcome. In the interim, the stumped couple is imploring the TikTok commenters, whatever, to help them diagnose the condition, which has made them the brunt of multiple jokes. Oh, don't joke. Okay, there's some jokes here that they've included in the article. I'm not going to read them because they're really fucking rude.
Yeah, not just that, but like I've said in the past, it's like if you're gonna hate on somebody or joke about somebody, do it for things that they can help.
Yeah.
Don't do it for things that they can't help. Obviously, this person's pigmentation changing is not a choice that they made.
No, and all because, you know, he was trying to get his mind right, get his chemical stuff balanced out. So I'm not going to read those. Let's see. The wife said, just to close out this article, the wife said, for me and the children, we just worry about his health. We really don't mind the color change as long as he's healthy and okay with it. We support whatever he chooses to do about it. Well, that's crazy. I've never heard anything like that before.
Yeah, me either. That's crazy.
Yeah. I guess if you guys are on medication, just watch yourself. You know your body better than any doctor, any parent, any person will ever know. So if you notice something weird going on, you know, if your body isn't liking something you're putting into it, then stop it. Okay, yeah. I have your second article.
Okay.
This one, I would beat a bitch. I would beat a bitch. I'm tied to this double time because I have a kid and I do nails. So, like, I saw this headline and I was kind of like, okay, you're gonna make me mad on a few things. Traumatized toddler hospitalized after nursery worker squirts nail glue in his bitch. Ooh, bitch. Oh, a 1-year-old boy in the UK had to be hospitalized after a nursery care worker accidentally. Oh,
sure, yeah, it's accidentally, allegedly.
Accidentally splashed cosmetic glue in his eye while fixing her nails. The mom said, I'm angry and upset. I put all my trust in them, and then this happens. The mom's 18, told Trent and I. I didn't need to include that. It doesn't matter her age. But the freak accident occurred September 23rd in the UK, where her son had been going 3 days a week since he was 3 months old while she went to school.
Oh, just a little baby.
I didn't know that there was daycares for 3-month-olds. I don't know if I can do it yet. Wednesday's almost 6 months. She's 6 months on Sunday. And I
just
mean,
move back here and I will take care of her. Like, oh no, I don't. Okay, like, I'm not trying to shit on like daycare workers or anything at all like that.
They're
but
not all
like,
doing this, but yeah.
No, of course not. But it's like, that was definitely like a fear I always had when I thought that I would have kids one day. And it's like, from my own like personal experience, like, you can't even trust family members to properly care for your child. It's like, why would I in any sense allow somebody I don't know at all to care for a child that I birthed into the world? Like, I
with
can't.
10 other kids too. Like, daycares have like a lot of other,
not even 10, like 20 other kids. Yeah.
So when Wednesday's like maybe like 5, like, you know, I'm ready then for her to like go and socialize and learn school and learn, like, okay. But like this boy he'd been going there since he was 3 months, it said.
Yeah,
3
but
months,
see, it's like
little.
Said the mother was 18, so it's like obviously she's either in school or working or
she's
both.
In school.
Yeah, and it's just like, you have to rely on other caretakers, you know, and you're paying for that service, and it's just like so unfortunate that
the nurseries over there, so everything's different over in the UK. It's like the medical thing that we deal with here, not a thing. The school thing that we deal with here, not a thing. Like, I almost feel like you can't truthfully be homeless there because there's so many immediate access benefits for people that are
when you're struggling,
no matter the situation, no matter what it is. Like, you can sign, you know what I mean? Things might be different now. Like, please don't quote me on that. And if you're going through it in the UK and you're not getting support from the government, like, I'm on your side. I'm always going to be on your side for that. But from what I remember when I lived there, but 6 years ago, it was very much not like it is here. When you're homeless in the States, you're fucking homeless. Like, you have nothing. Yeah. It's not quite the same.
There are no programs to like help you.
Yeah. And they, you know, and again, it just, I think it depends on where you're, like, exactly where you're from as well. But like the nursery, you know, good. What I'm saying is, like, good for her for going to school, because she could very easily not be going to school and stay at home and get money to watch the kid from the government. Yeah. So the fact that
but clearly this is somebody who like actually is being proactive and trying to like get better, be better for her child.
And then going through this, and then like your trust for them is going to be so dying. So should I finish this article? Yeah, I will, because I kind of want to see what the nursery worker had to say. So the furious parent said that she learned of the sticky situation. Are you kidding me? I'm going to call this site. These are from New York Post. So whoever's writing these, like, with the subtle jokery, stop it.
Not cute.
So, no.
It's not a good look.
No. The furious parent said that she learned about this after the daycare's staff called her at college, where she's studying public service, to inform her that the boy had glue in his eye. Initially, she thought it was PVA glue, which is like Elmer's, you know, that you use for crafts, which is not a big deal.
It's milk. It's not.
Yeah, it's non-toxic. Yeah. But that's what she thought they were talking about, because they kind of downplayed it on the phone by the signs of it. They were like, oh, he's got glue in his eye. Of course. So she gets to the hospital where the boy is, and she learns that it was actually nail glue that people employ to get their acrylic. Who wrote this? Listen to this sentence.
I'm so triggered right now. Continue.
There's pictures. Poor baby. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. Okay. The hospital had told her that the boy had knocked the glue off the counter, only for staff to inform her a week later that the fiasco happened because an employee had picked him up and the cosmetic adhesive on her hand. Okay, so it sounds like the story changed. It sounds like they initially said that the kid got a hold of the glue, and then the staff was telling the mom that the employee picked the boy up with it on her hand, which, and I'm gonna call that out as bullshit. Nail glue dries really fast and it dries really hard. It's not like eyelash glue or like it's not like any other glue. Nail glue is like fast. Shout out Sugar Drip Nails, by the way. So when you have that on your hand, you won't notice immediately. So unless like she literally went like touch and then straight away picked up the boy with her fucking finger in his eye, I guess, this wouldn't happen like that.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
Apparently, so the mum said this, apparently her nail had broken and she went to pick up my son and splashed the glue in his eye. Yeah, the glue's not splashing unless you're literally pouring it out of the container that it's in.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, the nursery representatives said in a statement that the employee's fake nail had come loose, so she attempted to re-stick it while holding... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say his name. I'm going to bleep that. While holding the boy, and ended up inadvertently squirting him. Okay. So, again, I'm picking this apart. I know nail glue. I have 14 kinds of nail glue in front of me right now. And I can guarantee you that they're not coming out as easily as you think. Especially, right? I'm a fucking detective, okay? And I do nails. I'm a detective nail-ass bitch. Especially when you've used it a couple of times. More often than not, the glue will dry around like the hole that it comes out of.
Yeah.
So you can spill it whatever kind of way, and a little might come out, but you're not.
There's no way that it's like just fucking squirting. That's not the right word for that. There's no way that it's just like water out of a fucking water gun or something like that. Like it's it's like, I mean, I use like the E500 whatever glue and I make my little hair clips and shit, and it's like, I understand what you mean. It's like once you've used it a couple times, there's dry glue at the tip that stops it from from being as viscous or as fast as that when it comes out. So that
even like the container itself, like, you know, when you squeeze toothpaste, the way that it comes out, you are never squeezing like a nail glue, like your typical nail glues. Now, whether she might have like a brush one, so if we factor that in, like, it could be possible, like maybe the brush is flicking into the boy's eye, like maybe that. But no, as far as like the way that they're trying to tell the story happened, it didn't happen that way, and I would testify to that. Nobody's asking me to testify.
I would ask you to.
Just call me to the stand as like the nail professional and the detective. I'm both.
I'm both.
Thankfully, it appeared that the injury was only superficial. The mum said, luckily, he had an instant reaction to close his eye, so it didn't actually get all the way in. She also added that her son's sight, fortunately, won't be affected by the accident. So, and I'm looking at a little picture of him here, which even if you guys could see my screen, I wouldn't share this. I'm not about sharing kids' pictures. And there's a lot of redness happening beneath the eye. It almost looks like, I can see on his eyelashes, like kind of the crusted glue, but it looks like something else happened. And I feel like if this boy could talk, like, this story would be different. That's speculation, cut that, like, allegedly. But, yeah, something isn't, yeah, we're not hearing the full story on that one, and I would stake all of my nail glue on it.
At the very least, all of your nail glue.
At the very least. Okay, here's another one kind of like on the same kind of on the same theme. I was blinded in one eye after using hair dye. All-time fear, big fear, big fear. Every time I dye my hair, this is what I think about. I think about this exact scenario.
I'm scared.
Well, I always get shit in my eyes, like, constantly. And like I've mentioned before, I'm not good at hair, so...
Let me dye your hair. Move back here.
That would be incredible if you could just dye my hair for me.
Yeah, like that time I turned all your hair pink.
And it was the perfect shade. It was like, I didn't want pink hair, right? I didn't want bubblegum pink. I didn't want, like, I wanted a very subtle, like, candy floss.
Like a rose gold, kind of.
Yeah, it was like, it was almost like when you dye it bubblegum pink and it's like 6 months old and it's just like that soft baby kind of pink. And it was perfect. It was beautiful. You did so good.
Yeah, just come back. I'll do it. So you won't get anything in your eyes, I promise.
Touch wood, don't say that. Oh my god, you put it out there. It's gonna happen. She was attempting to dye her hair dark brown with a friend using an at-home hair dye with a metal tube that has to be pierced to squeeze the dye out. Okay, so you know when you get the at-home dye kits and you have like it looks like a mustard bottle or mayo bottle, and then you have like the toothpaste looking thing, and you open the cap and flip it and you can pierce the top of that with so it sounds like they pierced it and it shot into her eye.
Yeah. All right, so just make sure I always point that sucker away from my face when I do that. Good to know.
These girls, I was going to say these girls were drinking, but she was only 13. Okay, so the tube didn't open properly, so she tried to squeeze the product out of the tube. The pressure that she applied caused it to explode in her face, shooting dye into her left eye, covering it in chemical paste and burning off the side. Excuse me. I got like too into this. Burning off the surface of her eyeball.
Bitch, what?
Oh my god. Oh no, she was only 13. Her mom heard her screaming from downstairs and rushed her to the hospital. She said, I was in the kitchen when I heard her scream. Her and her friends usually run around the house and scream and play, but I knew that it was a different scream. Yes, girl, I completely understand that. And it was a serious scream. She said, I ran in there and panicked because her whole eye was covered. You could hardly see her eyelashes, and you couldn't see her eyeball at all. It was covered. Oh my god. The mom put her in the shower and tried to rinse out the dye, but she was in so much pain she didn't want anyone touching her. I understand that.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was probably on her eye for a good 15 to 20 minutes, penetrating her eye before we could actually get it rinsed out. Immediately, she could not see anything, and she kept saying how bad it hurt. Oh, you know what? Like, I'm really feeling for this mom because she will, like, forever be like, if I had it, and, like, oh my god. Wednesday is never fucking dyeing her hair.
I cry when I put eye drops in my eye, which are designed to go in my eye. Like, I can't even imagine hair dye.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, have you ever got toothpaste in your eye?
No.
I did for the first time maybe like a month and a half ago. And honestly, like, not to minimize this girl's problems, but I may as well have got hair dye in my eye. I freaked out. I thought that, like, it was over for that eye. Like, I'm in the shower. I'm, like, sitting down. I'm like, this is it. Like, I'm never going to see my kid through that eye. Like, it hurt so fucking bad. And that's just toothpaste.
I mean, toothpaste is, you know, chemical. Like, it's got shit in it. Like, it's minty fluoride too, so fluoride and mint. So I could see how that would probably feel way worse than it actually was. But
yeah, it sucked. But that would, I can only imagine that because, like, the smell, I feel like the smell of hair dye burns my eyes, you know, just the smell.
Yeah, you know, you're right. Just it being open, the hair dye, it burns your eyes just by being near it. So it's like bleach, you know? It's like
So I made
cleaning agent.
I made Morning Brew's headlines. I drove. Actually, you know what? I want to be careful with the jokes because I feel like every time I do this, I make a joke, and then 10 minutes later, when I'm actually reading the article, I'm like, this is the most unfunny, serious shit I've ever read before. So I'm going to retract my joke, just in case. But it won't make any sense if I say it after, so I'm gonna surrender the possibility of this dumb joke and just call it what it is. I drove my car into a lake right after my driver's test.
Like full Michael Scott.
A UK teen is being mocked mercilessly online. Okay, let's all relax. After plunging her car into a river right after nearly acing her driver's test. Okay, so a bit of a misleading headline. Because she didn't actually ace or pass the test. She nearly did. Just, let's see here. She said, just because you've passed your driving test well, it doesn't mean you're an amazing driver. Yeah, I mean, that's very true. I mean, yeah. She said that she had been over the moon to take her Volkswagen Polo for a spin after passing her driving test 2 months ago with only one minor fault per the clip. Okay, whoever wrote this, I'm irritated with you because did she pass it? Did she not pass it? What are we talking about here? After visiting a fireworks show with her boyfriend, the teen drove home during dark and rainy weather. Disaster struck after she lost control of the car while going around a sharp curve and ended up in the water in the river. That's terrifying.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We launched over the riverbank. All I remembered seeing at this point was trees in front of us, the petrified driver described. We then landed in water. I was so shocked and scared I didn't even realize it until my boyfriend shouted that the car was in the water. It's scary. I mean, her and her boyfriend are fine. Yeah, looks like just a video of it is going viral. So, she said she's ultimately grateful just to be alive. We are both so unbelievably lucky to have just come out of this accident as we did. Every other possibility of what could have happened would have resulted in us being dead. Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing to take away from this. Like, you can't not take it seriously. I'm terrified of driving. It's like one of my biggest fears. I can't even. Oof.
I didn't have a license to drive until after I had a bachelor's degree. So I was a late bloomer when it comes to driving, and now I drive for work all day, every day. And I love it. I love driving. Mm-hmm. I don't love the other drivers around me when I'm driving. Most of the time, I don't know what it is about this area. Maybe it's because people are transplants, like they move here from other places. So whatever etiquette they have in driving or just...
yeah,
they don't mesh or something, but I see accidents every single day.
That scares me. I don't want to be in an accident.
Sometimes every day.
Oh,
on the same road. Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's like, in fact, the other night when I had just dropped off my last delivery and I was heading back to the store, and I was just like listening to music, whatever, like fucking I'm on my way back to the store, and like I see it's dark out already at this point, and I see that there's a man standing between the cars, and he's like talking to a driver in another car, and then the light's changing, and like we can't move because this man is standing in the road, and like so I'm like really watching, and he gets back in his car, which is in front of the car that he was talking to somebody in. And then I see him drive over to the side and pull over. And the guy in the truck that he was talking to was not in the turn lane where I was. But as soon as the light for the turn went green, he tried to like hit and run, basically. this guy. Like, he turned when he was not in the turn lane to try to get away. And then I was like, I'm just sitting there like with popcorn.
Yeah.
That's not real. Like, I'm just like, oh shit. Like, I'm watching this guy like attempt a hit and run. And then he was driving and I'm driving, and then that same car that was hit by him, I see them fucking just speed up and like come over, and they
my god,
are like, they get behind him and they're like flashing their brights, and it's just like, dude, clearly you don't want to pull over because you're either not insured or you're not licensed.
So, like, some type of, like, fender bender, like, kind of low key, not a big deal accident.
Yeah.
And then he was like, nope. Yeah, I'll be right there with the insured. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, go guy in the... Oh, I don't know why I'm, like, team guy in the truck. I just love, like, an underdog. Like, I don't know why I'm on his side. I'm, like, an empath. Like, I'm a people pleaser. Like I told you, like... I feel bad for the guy in the truck when he's literally the one that's doing the wrong thing. So.
Yeah, no, not a good look.
Sorry to the other guy. I didn't mean to not be on your side when clearly you're in the right.
No, and then like I had to make my turn to get back to the store, and I couldn't finish watching the reality television that was going on in front of me.
You should have followed them. Honestly, you were a witness to the whole thing.
I know, and I actually kind of feel bad about that, because it's like I totally watched this guy attempt to hit and run, you know, and I felt bad.
I wonder what happened with that.
At the same time, not my problem.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, especially if you're busy working, like you have your life too, you know.
To go back to the store. I had shit to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I fell 33 feet while snapping a selfie. The hospital left me laying in my feces and blood.
What?
This is just from a couple days ago. This is like Friday past. This is like when the last episode should have been. Like, this was like super recent. A lot of UK stories. This is like the third one. A UK tourist was in Montenegro, sustained severe injuries after falling over 30 feet while taking a cliffside selfie, only to be left sitting in her own feces by medics. Misleading headline if we're not talking about this woman being left in a hospital. Why are you saying the hospital? But okay.
Wow.
Yeah, New York Post again. I'm calling you out. Come for me. Don't come for me. But I'm still calling you out. Just leave it.
No, they have more money than we do. Don't come for us.
Stop with the misleading headlines, though. This is not tea. Like, when it's tea and it's clickbait for YouTube and it's dumb videos, like, I get it. When it's, like, legitimate things, don't clickbait. Don't fucking clickbait me, you bitch. Anyways, she said, I can only describe the hospital as medieval and grim. She had reportedly attempted to snap a selfie. Yep. Third or fourth, possible fourth mention. I think I skipped the first mention because I already read it in the headline. But so far we're like 20% into this piece, and this is the fourth time we've mentioned. I'm mad. I got beef with New York Post. I got beef.
Do it.
She reportedly attempted to snap a selfie while posing at a scenic spot overlooking the picturesque Montenegro coastline. However, her high-altitude photo op went south after she slipped backwards and plummeted 33 feet onto jagged rocks below, fracturing her ribs, spine, and ankle. She survived and was subsequently rescued from the ravine by a good Samaritan who descended the cliff. Oh, shout out you. There's no more information on who that was, but it seems like somebody saw her fall and was like, I got you, and came down the cliff to check on her. And 19 minutes later, paramedics arrived and transported her to the hospital in the nation's capital of Podgorica. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't even have tried to pronounce that. Can I look it up? Can I just see?
Yeah, of course.
Monte Cristo What was it? Podgorica? She was on the coastline, so I kind of just want to look up on a map and see like kind of how far away, how long this could have been. I'm no good at geography, but if I had to venture a guess, I would say probably about an hour and a half from the closest coastline to this hospital, or this town, not this hospital, let me just say. I'm just trying to get context to this because I feel like I already have an opinion of this, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong. Anyways, so 19 minutes later, yeah, about an hour and a half, paramedics arrived, transported victim to hospital, nation's capital of Podgorica. I did it to myself again. Unfortunately, this is quote-unquote New York Post. I'm not speaking as if these are my words anymore because I don't trust them. Unfortunately, her hospital stay proved as hellacious as the fall itself. She said, I could not move my body, yet they refused to treat me, to wash me. I was scared to ask for help. She claims she was left sitting in her blood and feces for a week.
What?
I would call out for water, and they just pretended to not hear me or understand me.
Oh,
I had to get someone
God.
to smuggle the water in for me. Okay, can I just say here while I have the chance, like even before I continue, right? Obviously that's terrible if your nurses are leaving you unwashed and uncared for and everything, but kind of from the jump, the language that I'm seeing from this person is very much, again, it's like misleading, or maybe it's not misleading, it's just like lacking context. So she's telling us that she's smuggling water in.
Yeah. Let me just interject really quickly here. My aunt, who I was talking about earlier, my Aunt Ruth, she is an X-ray technician, and when I was in high school, she was a mobile X-ray technician. So it's like for places, she specialized in geriatrics, so like older people in hospices and stuff like that. And there were times when I'd skip school or I didn't have school or something, and she would take me to work with her. And I definitely saw people being left in their own feces and in their own urine and stuff like that, to the point where like my aunt would tell off the nursing staff, because it's like if she's coming to take an x-ray mobily, that means that whatever facility these people are in don't have the x-ray tech to do that there themselves. So she would refuse. She would come in because she was told, this is your next stop, this is the patient, blah blah blah, and then she would tell off the nursing staff sometimes at certain places and be like, I will not be taking the x-ray of this patient until you clean them up.
Yeah.
Until they are no longer sitting in their feces.
Yeah.
I refuse. I will not do this until this person is washed and cleaned up. So absolutely. I believe that. I've seen it.
I mean, I don't think it's impossible. I think especially in like those hospice kind of situations, because there is a lot of abuse that happens there. I fully believe that it happens. I don't think that it doesn't not happen, and I'm certainly not saying that it didn't happen to this lady. What I'm questioning is like, it could just be because she was quoted while she was very angry, but I feel like what she's saying either needs to be explained like a little bit more. Like the way her saying like I had to get someone to smuggle water in for me makes me think you're saying that they were purposely withholding water. You're not allowed water. No one's allowed to bring you in water. Using the word smuggle makes me think that it was like this heist, like this whole thing to smuggle it in, to sneak it in. Where it was, did they just bring it to you? I'm not saying that makes it okay. What I'm saying is that her language is misleading, and it's making it like, it's giving Karen is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if she's like,
there there may be some exaggeration going on.
Like there might be like 3 truths and a lie happening here.
Okay.
Is what,
okay.
Not to say that, you know, it doesn't negate how terrible that is, like, if this is happening. I'm going to continue, though, before I put my entire, like, feet in my mouth. I had to get someone to smuggle the water in for me. Food, meanwhile, allegedly entailed 1 piece of stale bread each morning, which nurses unknowingly put on a table where she couldn't reach due to her incapacitated state. As the staff hadn't conducted any scans, they didn't realize that she had fractured her vertebrae and was therefore almost immobile. To make matters worse, the patient wasn't administered any painkillers the whole time. Yeah, that's pretty rough.
That is really rough. Falling 30 feet and then not being given ibuprofen or anything is not... Yeah. Regardless of her giving me Karen or any of that, like, that's terrible. Yeah, it's
like,
not okay.
I'm certainly not, like, minimizing
it's definitely
anything
not
that she went through.
Proper care.
No, they're not doing their job. Regardless of whether she was the biggest bitch in the world, if you're a nurse or a doctor, it is your responsibility and something that you've agreed to. It's like code for you, moral code, like legal code, to do the right thing. So
yeah.
She believed that the poor treatment was due to the hospital's anti-Western sentiment, claiming they weren't abusive, but they were definitely anti-British. I felt like an alien. Not to mention that Montenegro has the most backward, this is a quote, by the way, the most backward health system in Europe, according to a 2016 report by the Swedish non-governmental organization Health Consumer Powerhouse. Things came to a head when staffers moved the patient to cramped quarters, a move she believes exacerbated her condition. Quote, at one stage they decided to pull me off of the bed and dumped me into a chair in a small room and locked the door behind them.
Oh my God.
She said, I had to start making emergency calls to family because I thought my future might be bleak. I was basically a hostage. Salvation came after the vacationer's daughter contacted family back in the UK. Okay, so she had a daughter with her. Who negotiated with their insurance company to get her home. At long last, she was airlifted back to the UK, whereupon she finally received proper care. I was still lumped in my own blood when I arrived and was finally put on morphine, she said. The doctors here can't believe that I'm still here. They said if the fracture in my vertebrae was 1 inch higher, I'd be paralyzed from the head down. Well, thank God she's okay. That's crazy.
Wow. Jesus. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. But that's Mourning Brew.
Well, thank you for the Mourning Brew. I am horrified and enraged and just reeling.
Yeah. That was a long one. There was a lot there. It was pretty overwhelming.
Drip Eliante pulling up, feeling like Harry Belafonte. Look at my racks, feel like Serena went hit from the back. Swing, pull like Jim, waves on swim, and a rock Timbs with the tech. Butterfly doors on the Tesla, I just spent shit on gas.